Here we go. Kettlebell on a Monday. Let's start with the head and neck, looking up and down. All right, side to side. Person in. Julie. And half circles to the front. Head is heavy. One more on each side. All right, little shoulder circles. So Julie, it's a kettlebell class tonight. I hope you have your kettlebells handy. Sorry, I'm moving the shoulders forward now. I did that and didn't even tell you. So I changed direction with my shoulders on this one. And then now we'll go back with big arm circles. Other way. Good. All right, open front and back. And to the side. One more on each side. All right, back to center. We'll take the arm and swing it behind us, so arm out to the side. You're looking back, letting that body rotate all the way down to the feet. One more on each side. Good, shake it out. Elbows. Other way. Wrists. Change direction. Good. All right, roll down, tuck the chin. Let the arms be heavy. Knees are soft. Roll it up. Tuck the tailbone. Head is the last thing to come up. And we'll do it again. This time walking the hands to the side, pushing into the floor, arms are straight. Straighten the legs a little bit if you can. Wag your tail. Bring it back to center, hands to the other side. Same thing, push into the floor. Straighten the legs. Wag your tail. Back to center, roll it up. Good. Big hip circles. Other way. ankles. Change direction. Other foot. Other way. Good. Okay, feet wide. We'll do some side bending. So arms down by your side. Good. Let's add the arm, taking it a little bit deeper. And hold. Reach the arm away, turn the armpit towards the ceiling. See if you can get that arm behind your face. And let's come down to the floor. If you're over your right leg, let's bring the left hand to the floor and open the right arm up to the ceiling in our triangle or windmill pose. So remember, pushing into the floor, arm reaches up towards the ceiling, tailbone and crown of the head pull away from each other. And then bringing it down to center, rolling up. We'll do the other side, reaching up, bend, armpit to the ceiling. Oof. Oh, this side is tight. And then coming to the floor, so hand to the floor. Other arm opens up to the ceiling. Hands pulling away from each other, crown of the head and tailbone pulling away from each other. And down to center, roll it up. Good. Let's grab your stick. We'll do some dislocates. So hands nice and wide, keep the arms straight. Taking it all the way around for 5. Trying not to let the ribs pop, so keeping the ribs down. And then after 5, you can walk the hands in a little bit closer. You're going to see if you can find your sticky point where you can't get the arms behind you, but you still want the arms to be straight. You can just come back and forth to that point. All right, let's do our wrists. So underhand grip. Yeah, okay, we all know it. Good. So we'll do 5 and hold. Good. Other side. Good, hold. All right, we can put these away. And come to the floor. So let's just get into downward dog and work it out. Just do what feels good. So take a moment for you here. You can tuck and tilt the pelvis if you like. Pedal the feet, bend the knees. Just do whatever feels good. And then coming into down dog, pushing into the floor with your hands, arms are straight, spine is straight, tailbone is lifting up towards the ceiling, getting those legs as straight as you can, and then into high plank for 5. And then after 5, we're going to come to our knees, tabletop, hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Again, spine is straight, pulling the shoulders down away from the ears. Lift the knees, we're hovering. And then from here, see if you can shift those hips back, keeping the back straight, and then coming back to your starting position, shoulders over the wrists. Push the hips back to your start, good. For 5. Good. Whew. Turning everything on. All right. Let's stay on the floor, half kneeling. Starting with the foot straight out in front, coming forward and back. So if you can come back all the way extending your leg, you can do that. Or you just go as far as you can. You can play with the placement of your foot. And then take a half kneeling position, tucking the pelvis, squeezing the bum. We're going to do our diagonal stretch from here, reaching back, touching the back of the foot. So if your left foot is in front, your left arm is reaching back. For 5. Whew. Other side. Same thing, forward and back. Tuck the pelvis, reach it back. Good. Whew. Excellent. All right. Staying here, leg out to the side. Same thing, in and out. Hand to the floor. So you're putting your knee against your shoulder, shoulder against your knee, and then opening it up. So you can sink into the stretch here. And release, push it back. Other side. In and out. Good. Hold and open. All right, push it back. Whew. Okay, we're getting there. To our feet. Lateral squats, so feet are wide. Let's pull the shoulders down away from the ears. Back is going to stay nice and straight as we go side to side for 10, so 5 on each side. Push those hips back. Good. And then after 10, you stay down and hover for 10, keeping that back straight. Think about that pelvis. Think about tilting that tailbone back. All right. Whew. Tasty. Okay, so let's talk about what we're going to do tonight. In our first portion, excuse me, we're going to do, so kettlebell swings, we know those, but we're also going to do a swing, clean, snatch combo. So we're going to work right side, left side. And what you're going to do, 3 swings, 3 cleans, 3 snatches. So it looks like this. Three, and then 3 snatches. Okay. So try a few of those if you need to warm up with just some single arm swings. Maybe do more than 3 if you need it. So nothing changes with the single arm swing. Still all hips. It's just that grip. Then you can try some cleans. Try some snatches. Good. Oh, nice. Oh, Julie, you look so good doing that. Julie should be teaching this. Nice. Good. Yeah, so really interesting. Julie has such a great technique. Like she makes it look really effortless, but that's the endurance. Like she trains for endurance. So she knows how to keep the parts relaxed that need to stay relaxed. But there's more than one way to do this. But if you are going for endurance, the more of your body that you can relax, the better. You don't have to tighten everything up. But I mean, you could also very easily do a high tension swing, clean, depending on what you're looking for. The high tension stuff will require a lot more work though. So what we're going to do is we're going to try 5 rounds, 30 seconds, swings, and then our swing, clean, snatch combo on the right. On the left, then we're going to come down into high plank. And we'll do variations of high plank. Whew, sound good? I wore sweaty sweatpants instead of shorts, so this might be interesting. Okay. So starting with swing, so you might need some different weight for your bells, depending on what you're doing. You don't have to use one bell for all of it. Okay, starting in 15 seconds with those swings. Hips, hips, hips. Let that chest come towards the floor as you swing. If you can shoot for 20 swings, 30 seconds, pretty good. If you go over a couple seconds, it's not going to kill you. Or the wrong elastic. Okay, swing, clean, snatch. Here we go. Start on whatever side you like. So 3. And as always, for that snatch, you can bring it down through the rack, or you can just let it drop. Other side. Woo. Here we go. So the 30 seconds should give you enough time to get through all 3. Nice plank. This will be the rest. So nothing fancy, just regular plank for this first round. Shoulders over the wrists, pulling the shoulders down away from the ears. Legs are strong. Squeeze the glutes. Almost there. All right, back to swings. Keep going. All right. Swing, clean, snatch. Tighten this up. Good. Yeah, nice. So you can rest, or if you want to jump right to the other side and get it over with, you can do that too. And then just rest at the end. Whew. Good. Nice. All right. We're just doing high plank again. So again, nothing fancy. Maybe what we'll do for the entire 5 rounds, focus on your breath in the high plank. And maybe see if you can challenge yourself to just really slow it down in this position. So seeing how long you can make your inhale and exhale. continue to scan the body, resetting if you need to reset. Good job. Okay, swings. There we go. Keep going. Almost there. Good. Here we go. Swing, clean, snatch. Yeah. Good. So again, you can either switch or rest. That's your go if you're resting. Nice. Good, Eileen. Oh yeah, really nice. Smooth. Oh, so good. See that snatch? Oh, nice. Oh, really good. One more. Cool. Plank. So breathe. You're counting your breaths, and you want it to be as few as possible. Pushing through those hands, not collapsing through the shoulders at all. Keeping the bum down, spine is neutral. All right, round 4. Let's do it. Almost there. Here we go, combo time. Feels like such a short break between the swings and these. So on these as well, if you can, focus on your breath, making it as smooth as possible. Switch or rest. Good. That's your go. If you were resting. Cool. Looks good. Oh. Plank. So this is a rest. Just slowing down the breath, calming the mind. Pull the shoulders down away from the ears. Neck and spine are neutral. Weight is under the first knuckles. Last time. Here we go. Good. Couple more. Ay, ay, ay. All right. Let's do this. Last time. Whew. Keep it up. Switch or rest. That's your go. Good. Good. Good, Eileen. Keep going. Oh, there it is. One more. Right on. Plank. Calm breath. This is the last 30 seconds here. You got it. Oh. Oops. Grab a drink. Water's over here. Okay, part 2. We're going to do another combination move, more cleans, but this time it's going to be a rotation clean to a thruster, like a rotation thruster. So we're going to move from one side, down, and then thrust to the other side. Come back. Here. So let's just go through that without any weight, just so our body knows what we're doing. So for that dead clean rotation thruster, My feet are going to point slightly 45 degrees. And I'm going to take that same kickstand deadlift position that we take for kickstand deadlift. So my toes are up, or I'm on my toe, and the bell is going to be down on the inside of my foot. So you can think about pushing that hip back. You should feel that same kind of tension you would as if you were doing a deadlift. Your back is still straight. You're still pulling the shoulders down away from the ears. So from here, you clean it up. It's a powerful, explosive motion. And when you clean it up, you're going to come and face the front. So your toes go from pointing at 45 to pointing forward. Can you see that? What if I come like here? So I start here like this, and then as I come up, I pivot so that my feet point towards the front. Yes, that's it, Julie. Yes, that's it, Eileen. Good, so do one more like that. And then, so when we have this now in the rock position, both feet pointing forward, we squat. And then just do a regular thruster, right? So we squat, and as we come up, we use that momentum to push the weight up. So instead of going straight up, we're going to pivot to the other side. Yeah. Yeah. That's it. That's it. Good. So let's run through from the beginning. So from that dead clean, dead rotation clean, setting it up, feeling that tension through the hamstrings, shoulders down, back straight, clean, thruster, rotate. Do one more all the way through. You're going to move slow here. Yep. Thruster. Good. Try the other side. Yep. Yep. Yes. Yes. So whatever side you clean from, Julie, you're going to thrust on the other in the other direction. So if you're picking the weight up on the left with your right arm, you're going to thrust, you're going to rotate to the right. Yeah? Good? Okay. Okay, so when we do that, we're going to work only in 30-second intervals. If you want to work it without a weight, you can do that. But why don't you just try picking up a weight and see how it feels with a weight? I'm super sweaty in my face here. And maybe just break it down. Maybe do a few dead rotation cleans first. So just do a few, just like we did without any weight. Now, and when we do our 30 seconds of work, when we do this in the workout, maybe you just want to stick with that part of the combination. You can do that too. Let's see it, Eileen. Oh, she's going for the thruster. Oh, that's good. Yeah. Let's see the clean. Oh yeah, good. Yeah, you got it. Yep. Yep. So it's the footwork is like it's very subtle, but makes a big difference. It is, I mean, we're not really doing too much with the feet, but it's enough that you got to get it right, right? But you'll figure it out. Okay, so
is your foot on the floor, your heel on the floor when you do the thruster at the end, or it's
no. Yeah, when I do my thruster, my back foot my heel comes off the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah. You were doing it right. Cool. So then what we're gonna do, I have so many movement things for you tonight. So this is one we're not gonna do with any weight. So I did this one last night. I posted it in my story. But it's a variation of the Turkish getup. I think it's called a warrior getup. I think that's what it's called, but I'm not sure. But we're not going to do it with any weight tonight. but I just want you to experience it. And after all of the kettlebell stuff we did, it'll just be a nice little, you know, break from the kettlebell stuff. So we're going to start on the floor like we would for a Turkish get up. I'm going to come all the way to this part with my hip up, but then from here what you're going to try to do, so this leg stays straight, but this bent leg is going to move from here and you're going to come into a lizard. So if you had a weight overhead, of course the weight would be there and you would have to come up first. But for tonight, let's just see if we can go from here with the weight overhead, and then see if you can come into lizard. And then from lizard, see if you can see me here. From lizard, if you want to come up into a deep lunge, hold it, come back down, and then you got to take the foot back behind you and bring it back down to the floor. Oh, I can't see any of you. A little bit. I see Julie's hand. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, so now that bent leg. Yes. Yes. And then see if you can come up into a deep lunge. Yep. Back down. Good. Good. So we'll do that for 30 seconds on one side and 30 seconds on the other side. So you're just going to play with it. As you go through it, and if it feels okay with the arms and you come to a point where you're here and you want to see how it feels to just move into that position with the arm overhead, you can try that too. So you're free to experiment with this one, okay? All right. Well, we're going to start with that rotation clean thruster combo. We'll start with a lightweight as I explain it. We're going to go in 15 seconds. So setting it up with the feet pointing 45, hips back, back straight, shoulders down. This is an explosive clean, squat, and then we thrust, yes. Back to center, back to our starting position. Good. Good. Other side. So take your time between reps if you have to reset on that dead clean. You want to make sure you're pulling from a strong position. Make sure the back's not rounded. We're doing this 5 times, by the way. I don't know if I said that. Like 5 rounds. Good. One more time. All right. Sit up to lizard. You have to. This is a weird angle for me, I'm sorry. So you know that first part of the get up pretty well. Make sure that extended leg stays connected to the floor though on your sit up. So lizard, and if you want deep lunge, back to lizard, back to your high sit up, and down. But owning every part of this. So taking your time and just hitting every position as sharply as possible. Keep that heel connected to the floor. Think about owning it on the way down as well. Good. Okay. Clean thruster. Here we go. Whew. Good. Now those are no joke, huh? Other side. Thrusters are the worst. So hard. And we're adding a rotation and a clean. Good. Sit up. Or get up. So make sure that deep lunge position is strong. You want to push through the back foot. Get that back leg as straight as possible. Oof. Good. Other side. This way. So you have the option when you're transitioning over into your lizard. You can keep the arm off the floor while you do it, or if you want to try to bring it to the floor, you know, at the same time as you bring the foot around, you can do that. Make it as easy for you as possible in the beginning until you need to make it harder, because it's just so boring. All right, clean. Keep going, almost there. Rest. Nice. Other side. So by now, the movement, at least the pattern, should feel a little smoother. But of course, adding the weight makes it harder. Sit-ups. Here we go. Good. Yeah, nice high hip. Good. Getting ready for the other side. Here we go. Keep that hip high as you bring it back as well. So if you have to take a second in that position to make sure your hip is high, you're squeezing your glute, do that. You have lots of time. Okay, round 4, cleans. Here we go. Nice. I think we all did that at the same time. Halfway. Okay, other side. Ooh. All right, nice strong starting position. Here we go. Sit-ups. Here come the sweaty eyes. Slow and smooth. Owning every position. Good. Other side. What am I doing? I don't even know what side I'm on. Here we go. All right, ladies, last time. All right. Do it. Other side. Just 4 more. That's all I have to tell myself. 30 seconds and this is over. Here we go. Halfway. Keep going. Yay. We did it. Okay, sit-ups. Easy. We're finishing with dessert. Focus on your breath. That's it. Yes, Julie. Good. Good. All the way back. Nice. Okay, other side. Nice. Okay, quick drink. I was sweaty. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's come into a half kneeling, but we're going to extend that front leg. I want to stretch the back of the leg. So front leg is straight, back is straight. Hinge those hips back. Push those hips back. Tilt the pelvis back. Just hold it here. And slowly come out. We'll go to the other side. Hips back. Back straight. All right. Let's come onto our belly. So baby cobra. So we're going to peel our front body off the floor, look up, get those arms straight. So you may have to walk your hands out in front of you, that's fine. And then coming back down to the floor, one piece at a time. And do it again. And down. We're going to do it one more time. And come down. And then from here, push yourself back into child's pose. Extend the arms out in front of you. And you have permission to do whatever you like here. So you can just keep the arms out in front. and relax, or you can do an active stretch. If you want, you can walk your hands to the side. Other side. Back to center. And roll it up. And that's it. Thank you.